Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is July 3rd, 2026, and this is my weekly market review, where I'm reviewing the NASDAQ 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. Remember, no trade recommendation, education purposes only. Make sure you check with your financial advisor, make sure you check with your significant other, and make sure trading is really something for you. Get educated, and I'll talk to you later. And I'll jump over here to these charts and let's see what's going on. All right, let's maximize this quarterly chart. Resize, and I know I haven't resized this stuff. Let me slide this over. And all. Let me zoom in. And what we see, we're starting of a new quarter and all here in July, and we're seeing red already. That's a small bearish harami at this time, but we're only a couple of days into the month, so don't get too concerned yet. Again, on the big picture, looking at the big picture and all, this is the time. Maybe if you haven't taken some profit off the table, that's probably what they're doing at this time, the big money and all. But make sure you have your stops in place as necessary if you actually are still holding. No trade recommendation, just kind of things that I'm doing myself at this time and all. So and I'm selling calls on my positions at this time, and I'm making sure I got a call sold out there on my position somewhere, and all. That's one of the things. Because looking at this quarterly picture, we can see that maybe the market is getting ready to take a rest, and all. No, not looking for too big of a pullback and all, but it's time for maybe it to take a rest. And as we can see, we do have some red candles here every now and then when we get a pretty good uptrend and all. And this was pretty extended here on this last quarter that we had, so it is due. So be careful, be careful, be careful. Let's go ahead and go down to our monthly chart and see what we see there. Zooms in here on this monthly chart. We can see here on this monthly chart, we are still above the 9-10 moving average, number one. Let me get my arrow pointer thingy up. Boom, boom, boom. Give it a second here. It's going to pop up somewhere. There it is. All right. As we can see, we're still above the 9-10 moving average. That's this blue line right here. I don't like it that big. The other thing that we had a doji, last month, and this month again, like I said, we're starting off red. So what we are looking at here right now is not the best evening star, but we do have an evening star on this monthly picture, even though we're only 3 days in the month, so don't get too excited. The other thing is, just follow your trading plans, follow your trading strategies, and trade accordingly, because we are still above pivot. That's one of my key things, and we are still above the blue line. That's that 9-10 moving average line. So when we're above that, we tend to say we're bullish. When we're below that, we tend to say we're bearish. But you don't want the thing to drop, another 50 points on you, before you say, okay, it's time for me to get out of this thing. Put your protection in place. Do some bearish type, no trade recommendation, but I would do what I'm doing some bearish type trades and all. So that's why slightly bearish, since I'm seeing some bearish signs on the chart at this time on this big picture and all. All right, but that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and go down to our weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, we see choppy, and all. What I mean, seems like we're staying above, this level pretty much, but we haven't been able again to break that 750 like I had said last week. We get up in here into this selling pressure area, and we sell off pretty good, but we haven't closed. Like I said, I don't want to see us close below 700, but I like to see us get above, but we haven't been able to get above 750. So we're in this range right now, and that's what I see happening right now. And we closed near the bottom of this range here this week, and also again, be careful, be careful, be careful. That's all I can say. All right, let's go down to our daily noise and wrap this on up. Zoom, and this daily noise. Last week I thought, and still I'm kind of seeing. I was looking the other day. We're getting kind of like something like this beginning to form, So again, be careful, be careful, be careful. I know let me see what day this candle actually is right here. This is the second. When I saw this second candle and all, and you saw the day before and all, what do you see? You see a bearish Harami in the right location, and you actually got confirmation of it, but you really didn't drop below this area right here. If you was able to play it short, yesterday and made a little bit of money, all based on how you played it. If you played it buying a put, selling a spread, you know, or selling a call, or actually short the product itself, you know, if you played it with options, or not options. It's all, or you played other, ETFs that shorts the market. You've got to be careful, because this is what I'm seeing, this whole little thing, what I'm seeing. We can be at our bottom and we can get ready to reverse back towards the upside, but we don't see it. We haven't been seeing it, break a lot of previous highs. We've been getting lower highs. So be careful, be careful, be careful. When I'm saying these few days here, we're getting lower highs, and overall, we haven't been able to break that last swing down. But you turn around, we haven't broken that last. We didn't at the beginning of the week. We didn't break this week's bottom either, or last week's bottom. This might one, two, three, four, five. Last week's bottom. So again, this is the market chopping in a range, and all I can say, be careful, be careful, be careful. It's going to break. It's going to break down, or it might end up popping up and breaking out of this area. But just again, trade accordingly and all. And that's pretty much it. That's what I see here happening here on the NASDAQ 100. Hope you guys had a great week. Have a happy 4th. Use everybody in the United States, and I'll be talking to you guys next week. This is Right Side Trader. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.